I need to talk about The Idol.
Yes, please. I'm putting my foot down to never even look at it.
You don't need to. First of all, before this, I want to give like content warnings for like abuse, and the show glorifies a lot of stuff that's really disgusting. I was talking about the show, like we were just having a conversation about the show with a friend. We were hanging out. We were like, do you want to just like hate watch it a little bit? That seems like it could be fun.
Yeah.
So we turn it on, and it is exactly what it's being criticized for, which is lots of unmotivated sex scenes, lots of unmotivated nudity and stuff like that, which is fine for like setting the atmosphere. It's about a pop star who like falls for this club promoter dude.
Played by The Weeknd.
Played by The Weeknd,
Who also co-produces the show?
who also is an executive producer of the show.
I was like talking about it, like being like, this is going to be the big thing.
I know. And so like, yeah, in one of the first scenes, the big pop star played by Lily Rose Depp is doing a photo shoot. And I think in the photo shoot, she's wearing like a hospital band, almost to be like, ooh, I'm like
I'm broken.
I'm broken. Yeah, that's like her whole thing.
I'm sick and twisted.
One of
He's
her
okay.
agents,
I'm broken.
Kind of a Joker style crazy.
yeah, there's a character. There's a character that asks her agent and goes, "Hey, isn't this like a little insensitive or whatever?" And she's like, "No, mental illness is sexy."
It's cool.
And like that's a whole thing. It's like, oh, Hollyweird is so wacky. Like they freaking don't care. It's like a bunch of Hollywood people going like, dude, we actually like are the coolest. And
It's like the whole Weinstein thing happened and people like didn't get what it was about.
Yeah. Well, we are so fucked up.
It's like people were talking about that a lot. We should do that.
the show feels like it's doing things that would make Twitter mad, but then having the like discourse in the show about like what Twitter's gonna say, like, oh, Twitter's gonna have an issue with this, so like let's try to make some like high-minded statement about why what we're doing is cool. And it
sorry, the one thing we should say, if people don't know, this is Sam Levinson,
Sam Levinson, who did Euphoria, and who's now being sort of rightfully criticized for like not being that good at his job. They're like, yeah, she's broken. Her and Britney actually have a lot in common. And I'm like, you know what you can't do? Or you know what they don't have in common? Britney Spears is fucking a real person with like real trauma. And also like an ongoing situation as the show is being produced.
And it's probably not out of any of that shit
No,
yet.
and so to be like, our fictional character actually is pretty much Britney Spears as far as the stuff that she's went through. And
That's why you have fake characters in a show.
Yeah.
To be like, oh yeah, Britney Spears. Can you believe what happened? It's like bad, but at least you're not making.
It's so wild. And then there's some, and like I want to say some of the dialogue that's like makes me mad. And I'm also going to include a spoiler because who the fuck cares? No one's going to watch the show.
The show should burn.
The Weeknd, who basically runs a cult. The Weeknd. I'm fucking saying this. Oh, this is ruining The Weeknd's image, by the way.
He's not The Weeknd anymore either because he's a serious actor now.
Yeah, he's Tedros. Well, his character's name is Tedros. But anyway.
That's like some One Piece shit. Like,
Tony
like,
Chopper.
Yeah. I have like the bang bang fruit.
Yeah, literally.
He's on Hollywood
and
Island.
I just bang everything.
So basically, The Weeknd like embeds. They just meet at a club, and then suddenly he brainwashes her immediately, and he's got all these opinions about her music and stuff. He doesn't have a background in music. It's so weird. He's like telling her how to do her job, but the whole thing is like he's supposed to be disgusting. He's supposed to be evil. One of the things that's the most egregious, so this is at the end of episode 3. The Weeknd's character is making Lily Rose Depp's character talk about the trauma that she has with her recently deceased mother, who she comes out and says abused her, beat her with a brush. And then The Weeknd's like, and that's what made you such a good musician. Do you miss it? And she's like, yes. And she's like crying. And then he's like, do you still have the brush? And she's like, yes. And then she gets the brush. And then there's a fucking montage of him beating her with the brush.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And it's supposed to be like, oh, she's going to make the best music now. And it's like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Stay broken.
Yeah,
I mean,
Stay broken. That makes the best art.
That is the most sinister part. Is like romanticizing brokenness on any level is like, it's chic, but
in the
so
day and age where like
sinister.
mental health and therapy is like getting talked about more than ever.
Right.
Misunderstanding why it's being talked
Yeah.
about.
And that's the thing. It's like it's aware of that, but it's like a stupid person's awareness of it, where they're like, we're actually showing it because it's taboo now to show it because we're aware we're allowed to do it. Like when it's like ironic misogyny is still misogyny. That's kind of how it feels. Where it's like you're still engaging in the thing you're aiming to criticize.
That was my problem with 13 Reasons Why as well.
Yeah, I never saw that one.
I mean,
Or
literal statistical uptick in.
Yeah, where it was like, not only did it show it in like the most graphical way ever, but it like built up to it and almost glorified it. And then it was like, I got the last laugh in everything because I made you all the reason why I killed myself.
I did watch the second season because I was just like, I gobsmacked. I wanted to see what was happening.
Yeah.
And the second season concludes with, well, up and down, but a huge theme of the show is like, this trauma may have fucked us up, but it made us all friends in the end.
So I had heard the premise of it, and I was like, everyone on Twitter was like talking about how great this show is. So I was like, I think I will probably hate this, so I'll watch it just to have my actual opinion on it. And I watched the whole first season, and I was like, how is no one talking about how awful a representation for like suicide any of this is?
It's a little bit instructive. There's the suicide elements are pretty like.
And not only that, but it was like
Step by step.
vindictive as well to be like it's really fucked up to like leave people all this content and like being outside their houses and like watching them and like setting it all up. And
wasn't there a scene? I vaguely remember a controversy where something was too instructive, and so they took a scene out of a show.
And they wow, okay. Not necessarily this show, just some
No.
show.
13
I see.
Reasons Why. It was
yeah.
it was like someone was doing the. This is
it
so
might
hard
have
to talk
been
about.
there's a non-consensual scene in a hot tub. There's the actual act of what the show is about that is shown in full detail. And then it ends with like a school shooter subplot. And then that continues. Sorry to make the episode such a bummer, but these shows fucking suck and should be like blasted for showing this shit as badly as they do and not having like. There's no like conclusion to it. There's no self-awareness. There's no like.
I think that even it's like self-awareness without a. Like there is a real critique and there's a real substantive like thing that could be said here.
You
like
can't just like throw it out and then leave it there.
It's literally just because it's like supposed to make you think and it's supposed to be a discussion starter. But like at what cost, right? Like you're not really. It's like just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, it's like throwing a fucking match into a fireworks factory and then be like, let's see what happens.
Yeah, and it's like someone
cool?
going, why isn't anybody throwing the match into the fireworks factory? Because what we're doing is what no one else will do. And it's like, no, there's a reason that no one else will do that.
Well, the thing about 13 Reasons Why is that was produced by Selena Gomez as well. And that was like a big thing. And talking about like, oh, we're showing mental health. And then all these therapists and everybody afterwards were like, this is exactly what you don't do in regards to this. Because I've done like charity streams for people that are like dealing with like young people who have to go through mental health struggles, and all the like bullet points, because I'm like, let me read it in your words because I don't want to say anything because this stuff is so sensitive that you don't want to be like a gateway into anything.
Right.
And then
And you don't want it to
all their
be-
points were like, don't talk about this, don't say this, don't describe it this way.
Okay.
There's like very like specific vernacular because you don't want to like emulate anything for anybody or give them a gateway into anything.
Right.
Do you
And then this
personally like want to utilize the trauma as content?
Yeah.
Right?
So it's more about like help is there. We will give you the vehicle for that. You never like show anybody anything.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it's
we don't
so
need to tell
scary.
you why you need help.
Yeah.
You are, yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like we as a society, like people spend.
I love that we as a society, you've said that twice now.
Well,
And it's right is the problem. The
We as a
Joker
society.
has stolen it from us.
yeah, this is more like anti-social media if you really think about it.
Fuck, is that Black Mirror?
So yeah, it's a Black Mirror. Oh, fuck. What I wanted to say is that people have committed their lives to treating mental illness, learning about like researching and learning the best ways to take care and provide like rehabilitation and stuff like that. And what comes out of that is best practices, and what comes out of that is, oh, okay, here are triggers, here are things that you shouldn't say.
Yeah.
And then those experts and those people who are embedded in those communities need to propagate out that information into a wider like social learning.
Yeah.
And this happens with like this happens with pronouns and shit like that as well. Then what comes out is the headline of you shouldn't say this.
Yeah.
Or people are going by different pronouns than I think they should have. And then some contrarian... It's not
grammatically correct.
Yeah, some contrarian goes, actually, fuck that, without understanding any of the sort of research and sort of depth that's gone into that information, is just taking it at surface level. And it's like, I'm going to be cool because I'm not going to be a sheep of what the people are telling me. I'm not going to let the
woke mind virus take me over.
And that's what is so frustrating. And that's what The Idol feels like. I have to tell you this line, and we're going to censor probably the whole thing, but you can find any of the bad lines in the show.
You can judge by our reactions.
It's a throwaway line that like a high flying, like, Live Nation agent says on the phone about his own frustration with the situation.
Emphasis on flying.
He goes, that's in the show, and it's a throwaway line.
Oh my God.
Why say it? You know what I mean? It's just like,
again, another person that existed.
Yeah. Somebody was in a writer's room and thought that they were clever for making that up. They thought that was like a really like fun, clever like joke to make.
Someone comes back into the room with that script done over the weekend. We'd done the story beats, maybe come up with a couple scenes, but nobody had done the full script. Comes back, hands that in, and nobody in the room is like principled enough to be like, well, it's confrontational.
That's how you kill your career really quick, is that I'm not going to be The Weeknd anymore. I'm not going to do as much music. I'm going to be a serious actor. I'm producing this show. And it's like, these scripts had to be run by you.
Yeah, please don't do this.
And this is what you did.
The best parts of the show are when they just play a Weeknd song unedited.
Oh, hell
you just go, hey, this song's pretty good.
The vibe.
You should do this again.
You should actually just do that.
Gucci girl, how you doing? How you moving, girl? Moving, girl, how's your day looking? That future girl, yeah, we on now. Take my money, go away, or you want it?
Girl, too rich for me.